Good day everyone, it is Caitlin and today we are making a 1920s little boy's suit. Hello and welcome. So we are working on a little 1920s style little boy's suit, and I am using a pattern. It's not a historical pattern. We're going to modify it to be more historical. It's this designer page is Baby Kevin, and we're basically making that one. And the non-historical part is basically on these trousers where it goes up and down. I've only seen vintage ones go straight across. So we're just going to make that adjustment whenever we're cutting this pattern. I was going to just cut it out and then we'll get to the sewing together, but then I realized that I am using tracing paper, or what I used to call, or I'm accustomed to calling, dressmaker's paper. And we've never done that on the channel, and I don't think a lot of people actually know this stuff exists. So I figured go ahead and show you how to do this. So I went to cut my pattern pieces, and I cut like partially cut before I realized that this pattern is double-sided, which I find ridiculous because I like to have all my pieces cut out. Anyway, it's forcing me to use dressmaker's paper, which is not the end of the world, but it is annoying. So basically what we're doing is I can't cut these pattern pieces out. And so, I think it's called carbon paper actually, but I've always called it dressmaker's paper, and it comes in like a million colors. This is my grandmother's stash, by the way. She let me borrow it, but it comes in like a million different colors. I'm using purple today, and you need a tracing wheel. That's what this is. They're not sharp. They're pokey, but they're not sharp. They also come in plastic. I like the wood one better. Okay, we're using the purple one, and so how you use this is we're going to make a mark on the fabric without having to cut out the pattern piece. So this is placed on the fold, which this is a fold, and sometimes I will just fold back so I know exactly where that line is. Excellent. Place that on the fold, and I put my dressmaker's paper underneath so the colored side down onto the fabric. Take my tracing wheel and you just go over it one time. And when you get close to the end, just kind of move the tracing paper without moving the pattern. You have to get, good at that. It's a little bit of a problem. I'm going to mark out a little bit on this line. It's not a cutting line, so I'm not going to mark it fully. I'm going to mark it over here as well. Okay. So if you look at it, and I don't know how well you're actually going to be able to see on camera, but you can see it here. There's a line all the way across where exactly I need to cut. So for that pattern piece, that was actually not the end of the pattern piece. This is the end of the pattern piece. I'm going to guesstimate this pretty much. I understand it's more economical. It's also really annoying. Okay. So now I have a nice, good line to do my cutting. So that's the part in white. The other parts are going to be in some blue wool. Now I can use this as a pattern piece to the wool. So yeah, I bought this wool from Burnley and Trowbridge, and it's this gorgeous light wool stuff. This is just absolutely fantastic. It's the best thing ever. And the most beautiful color. And so I bought this specifically for this purpose, and also, for the Flower Girls outfit. And so, like, I bought that one, bought this specifically for that, and I was super excited about it, and I got it in, and a day later, my friend Susan just had to go post this beautiful, I think it was like 1805 light wool, this exact color, light blue dress, and I was like, oh, I need that in my life. Oh, that's gorgeous. Don't know where I'd wear it to, but I want it really bad. And I said, hey, you just got wool in. I can't even use it for that purpose because I need it for this other purpose. And I just kept being told, well, just go buy more fabric. And I was like, but this is the last bit. Because they don't have any more of this. In fact, Brilliant Trowbridge contacted me and was like, hey, we don't have a 5-yard cut of this fabric. We have like a yard cut and mixed with, a 2-yard cut and like a 3/8 yard cut. It was like a couple random cuts. I think I have like 3 or 4 cuts. I said, yeah, that's fine. It's going to be several different projects, so that's fine. But yeah, I can't go buy more of it. And mean people post pretty originals, and I can't make the things because I don't have the fabric for the things, and I can't get the fabric for the things. So that, I believe, is all my pieces. So, directions. I own directions. They're somewhere around here. Okay, that's the shirt. We'll get to that in a minute. I am going to go ahead and do the tucks down the front and go ahead and sew the tucks. I think that's going to be the easiest thing. And then we can do shoulder seams. Sounds good. We can go ahead and pin the collar, I would guess. I assume, actually no, I'm going to need to cut bias for the collar because I'm going to trim it in this blue wool. So we're going to wait on collar actually because I don't feel like doing that tonight. So we'll do the tucks first. That's nice. Okay. Stitch fronts together along front seam. Okay, that's going to be that seam. And we'll do this. I assume we'll do the same for the backs. Which one's the front and which one's the back? They're exactly the same. Did I do this right? The answer is probably no, but isn't it such a pretty color? I think it would look great on me. And here I am stuck wearing white. Although to be fair, I let my kids, my students, draw a picture of what they think I should wear my wedding day. And I found a few things. One is that they all think my wedding colors are green and blue. Which, to be fair, those are my classroom colors, and so they know that I like those colors. They've all decided that I'm going to be wearing a peacock costume, complete with a feather tail train for my wedding dress. No veil. And, yeah. So those are some things that I learned today. It's like, okay, maybe I need to have a wedding designed by 6-year-olds now. Crazier ones decided he was going to poison my wedding cake, so there was that, too. Not exactly the fun part of the day. Seems like I'm making a lot of things with like pant legs lately, which I've not done in many years. We'll probably do a felled seam to finish this edge. Alright, so I have the top of the shirt, and it's getting to be quite nice looking. So I have to do the tucks, and that's actually about it, just the tucks. So let's go ahead and put this on. This is the back. And I think I'm, again, just going to fill these seams. Speaking of the filling, so the pants apparently were supposed to be sewn bag style. And, I don't like bag style because it's ridiculously hard to take it out if you need to and, like, readjust things. So I'm just going to face the bottom and the top edge instead of doing the whole back lining spiel. And we're still going to fill the edges as I originally planned because I like my idea better. I'm going to sew that by the machine. I am using the original 1907 machine because for a 1920s outfit, that makes sense. So, fun times. We're going to remake this all over again. So I'm looking at this thing and thinking, this is huge. Absolutely huge. There's no way it's going to fit my nephew. So I asked my sister-in-law to measure my nephew. This is a 25-inch waist, which, by the way, is the waist I had about 10 years ago when I was in high school. So I thought for a baby that was kind of big. Turns out his waist is 20 inches. So this is going to be huge on him. That's his waist right there. And that's how many excess there is. Now I could do two things. I could just take out the side seam and graduate it up. Y'all can't see what I'm talking about. I could take this and graduate it up. That'd be totally fine. Not very much work undone and all that. However, I have so much of this wool, and to be quite frank, this at this size will get used by me eventually with kids and whatnot. So I would rather leave this the way it is, and I would much rather just make a new set. So I'm going to go measure all the waist on all the sizes and make the length for him to be the 24-month size, because he is tall, and I'll just make the width about 21, 22 inches so that it fits with just, just enough ease for wearing. So I'm going to set this aside for right now, and I will finish it at a later date for my kids, or maybe later this week if I have time and feel like doing it. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and recut the whole thing, and we can go ahead and get sewing. Now, I think just for time's sake, I'm going to bag line the next one, even though I don't like bag lining. It's less of an issue with kids' clothing because bag line you can't get in to fit things again. But with kids' clothes, they grow out of them so fast, usually you don't have that issue. So bag lining, I think a child's outfit isn't going to be as bad, and it will likely take less time. So I'm going to go figure out what size I need, and then go ahead and kind of get to this point, and we'll come back and do like the bag lining together, since that's a different technique. Alright, we're going to see if I can figure out a bag lining. I don't think I'm smart enough for this. Pretty sure it's right sides together. And they have you sewing the crotch and then not sewing one of these side seams, but I think I can make it work this way, and I'll just fill the crotch seam. That makes sense to me. But I've also never done this before, so that could be totally wrong. And then we turn the whole thing right side out, so the crotch seam. I think I have the shirt to the point where it was, so the tucks are put in, and it's basically sewn together. I do need to hem it and remake the collar, I guess. Yeah, I'm going to sew that, and then we'll turn it inside out through one of these holes. So that did not work, but it's okay because I just took out the top, and I just I was going to top stitch it anyway, so this is just going to top stitch it to sew it, and I'll probably sew it down about an inch on the bottom as well, and that'll get me something that looks like a waistband, even though it's not really a waistband. I haven't quite decided I'm going to do that part though. I'm definitely going to top stitch it, but I was planning on doing that anyway, so I'm going to change the thread to gray, not white, but a cute little pair of trousers. I'm hoping this is the right size now. But yeah, sew that by machine, stitch this by hand, and then the trousers will be done except for the buttonhole. Alright, we're at the machine and have the piping sewn to the collar, or pinned to the collar, and we're going to sew it to the collar. I do it that way because now I have a spot on the back to where I can actually sandwich it together, and it's not going to, I don't have to guess where the piping is. Alright, so hopefully that means the piping is all nice and even. Yeah, more or less. Could be worse, could be better. That's actually not all that bad. I think we're going to let that one slide. Let's see. Also, I'm going to do some piping on the edge of this sleeve. And this should be fun because it's a very tiny seam. This is the worst part of sewing sleeves. Alrighty, so working on this shirt, trying to get it finished out. This is the neckline binding that we're just stitching down. Let's go ahead and start sewing on a few buttons. I have five on the back side of the shirt and 6 across the bottom. So I just marked them. There's 2 already sewn on because I wanted to see where they are going. They're about 1 3/4 inches up. Looked right. So yeah, I got those 4 and then I marked on it here where this is going to go. So actually I've been trying to double up my thread for buttons just because it makes it a little bit stronger. So we're going to need to do buttonholes next. So there'll be 5 buttonholes on the other side of the shirt, and then there will be 6 buttonholes on the trousers or little shorts. I don't think I'm going to do any additional trimming, like there is some optional embroidery I could have done on the front. I think we're going to leave it kind of plain. I think it looks cute the way it is. Next step is to put down this piping. So very small little stitches. Try to make it mostly invisible from that side. That's looking pretty good. After I get this sleeve and the other sleeve done and the rest of the buttons, I've debated whether I want to do hand stitch buttonholes or machine done buttonholes, and I've decided that machine bound buttonholes tend to look better, especially when I do them. So we're going to do them by machine. Alright, very last step is putting the holes in the buttonholes. There we go. Here's our little finished project. I'll go ahead and put it together. Alright. And there it is. Isn't that just adorable? I mean, that is really cute. That's going to look really good. I think it's just the right amount for a little boy's outfit. I mean, it's not too frilly and fancy like a lot of the heirloom stuff that like you see modern people like do heirloom. It's like still masculine, but it's cute. I like the 1920s to the 1940s little boys' clothes. This little suit situation I like, and really it's even before then similar things are even found in the Regency period and pretty much all through the 19th century. This whole little shirt and buttons underneath stuff. So, I mean, various forms and patterns and that sort of thing, but the concept's the same. But, yeah, all the seams are finished. It's nice and neat. Should last a long time. The beautiful little mother of pearl buttons match it really well. And I guess the next thing is just to try it on my nephew and make sure it fits. I mean, I might need to move up or down the buttons, which would be fine. But it looks like it may be slightly too big for him still, but not nearly as much. And you still need like a little bit of ease. You don't want it to be super tight on the kid. You want there to be some movement and ease and that sort of thing. So I'm thinking the way it is now should work. If not, move the buttons maybe down 1 inch or so, because I know he's quite tall, but that does look like it's going to work. So hopefully it does. And yeah, that's our little 1920s style, really 1920s, 1940s style little boy's outfit. Now the mother of pearl buttons would not have been used that late. Those kind of went out of style. So when I use it for my own kids for reenacting purposes, I would most likely change out the buttons to something like plastic or vegetable ivory, something that was more common in that time period. But for what I had right now, it's going to work. But that's our little boy's outfit. Thank you so much for joining me today as we made our little 1920s boy's outfit. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. And as always, have a fantastic week, and we'll see you back here on Monday.